quite fair, and you probably were the better team up to the first goal, but the goals change games, don't they? What did you make of it?
Well, I was pleased with the first half performance, and I thought the goal was coming. I asked us to be consistent with our football performance as we had been in the first half, and we couldn't sustain it. I think even then, when I look at the first goal back, if James Collins flicks the ball on, we've got 2 spare players free in the box, and that's the margins in football. James doesn't flick it on, they go down the pitch, and we concede, and that's the fine margins you're dealing with in the Championship.
And then from then, you obviously tried to get an equaliser, and that's when you can get caught on the counter-attack.
Yeah, but we shouldn't have. The second goal's a long ball, it's individual errors. The third goal's comical, and really it's a 1-0 game. We had a couple of chances. I think we were building momentum for maybe 5-10 minutes. I can think of Tunnicliffe having a shot. I can think of Sonny Bradley having a great header in the 6-yard box. I can think of the ball on the rebound nearly being over the line. After that, I feel like we were spent, and that's my disappointment today. That resistance and that fight, especially when the second goal went in, I can't have that.
What do you put that down to then, Graeme?
I don't know. Again, subjectively, I think physically we couldn't sustain the performance of first half. I think we outworked them, we outpossessed them first half. I think it was 60-40 in possession, and maybe it caught up with us late in the game. They sat in, they played on our mistakes. We had possession in all 3 goals when we conceded, so sometimes it's fine margins, but the disappointment of the second and third goal, I can't hide. I can't swallow that. I'm afraid any team I'm involved in, I can't swallow that.
How big a concern is it that you can't keep clean sheets?
Yeah, well, before today, everybody talks about clean sheets. Nobody talks about us being second top goal scorers in the league. It's Luton Town. Huh? I can chuck the worst budget in the league out at you and everything else. Second top goal scorers in the league. So I'd rather focus on. I wish we'd scored goals today in Rugby than keeping a clean sheet. That's. I think we need to understand what we are. We're a brave side who takes chances, who can win games, who can lose games. But if you go right back to my time when I came here, I said the Championship can damage you. It's how you react. You've got to dust yourself down, and you've got to get prepared for the next game. And nobody's going to feel sorry for you. Nobody's going to help you. That's the league we're in. That's why it's brutal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does that mean, that you can assess the fitness of the work you do with the players? Because perhaps second week running you're slightly beaten for fitness. Do you think you might need to look at how you can get that a little bit extra out of the players for 90 minutes?
Well, it's not about how fit the players are fit, really fit. Maybe we're overworking. Maybe we're doing too much work tactically. And when you get beat like that, you have to assess everything. I think up until their first goal, I was happy with our display. I was happy with our reaction. If we stop the game 87 minutes, it's 1-0. The game goes longer, and I'm not talking about fitness. I'm talking about going to work from your position, being resilient, being tough when you're tired, making sure that you look after your area of the pitch. So it wasn't just fitness where we couldn't sustain it. Technically, we couldn't sustain it either. So that's something we need to look at.
How do you look at it? How do you assess it? What do you do now?
I'm going to go home tonight when everybody else is going out, and I'll watch the game. It'll take me a long time, and we'll have a meeting tomorrow because we've got to clear Hull City away. We've got a Premier League side coming on Tuesday night, and then we'll start preparing for Leicester. We're in tomorrow, normal time, so we'll work tactically towards Leicester, and then we'll work again on Monday night. And there'll be Tottenham today. Tottenham got to the Champions League final 3 months ago. That's the level of challenge we've got now. Everybody wanted that at this football club. Everybody, me included. We have to embrace it. What we're going to do, look back and go, oh well, we've got to dust ourselves down. We've got to look forward to the challenge, and we have to find a way of growing, and we have to find a way of getting results. Today wasn't our day.
Are you someone who obsesses about things? Would you watch it over and over again until you find what's...
No, I'll watch it once, but I'll stop and rewind it, and it'll take me 5 hours minimum to go through it. But that's where the detail is. That's where you find out. That's where you can improve.
Is that a normal thing? Would it normally take you 5 hours to watch a game? Or?
Yeah, I've done that every game since pre-season. Yeah, but sometimes it's simpler than that. Maybe you're going to have to just keep it simple. We've got 4 games in 12 days coming up, and we might need to move on quickly. But I need some answers. I need to have a look at it and find out what happened.
Is any part of it the naivety of that step up into the Championship? Because, as you say, it was a 1-0 game, but there was those crumbling moments at the end that makes the scoreline flatter them, really.
I think that's just Championship football. Today you've seen a classic Championship football game, which I think we were in the ascendancy. I don't mean we were great, but we're in the ascendancy. We were penetrating them, we were causing them problems, and one mistake and the ball's in the back of your net, and then we don't recover. We have a good go at recovering, but the last 3-4 minutes plus injury time, I can't have that.
Moving on, the League Cup, maybe not be the competition for everyone, but for Luton Town history,
yeah,
very important for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, we're ex-winners of that competition, so we've treated it seriously since the minute the round started. We'll be treating it seriously on Tuesday night. I think the opposition dictate that. So, as I've said, we've got to dust ourselves down and get ready for Tuesday.
It could still be a special night, mate. You think that?
Well, that's football. Eh? If you look at Derby Leeds today, Derby got battered. The end result was 1-1 because they stayed in the game. Yes, they missed a penalty. Leeds missed a penalty. That's Championship football. That's what now you've got to be able to dig in there and hang in there until the last second, because you've always got a chance, as we had today until 87 minutes. But the last 6-7 minutes, whatever it was, that's what disturbs me. I can't have that.
Is it your job you say it's probably going to take you 5 hours to dissect what went wrong? Is it your job to come in tomorrow morning with the lessons learned and say, right, this is what went wrong, this is what we've got to do to put it right? Is that what you expect from it?
Absolutely, but I'll be waiting on physical stats as well, which doesn't come maybe till tomorrow night. Maybe I can hurry the process up. The quicker I find out what's happened, the better I feel, because then at least you can work towards something moving forward. At the minute, everybody's got a subjective opinion about what happened. Nobody knows the facts. Believe me, if you watch 5 hours, you'll find out exactly what happened.
Just back to the League Cup, keen to move on as well. But is it still talked about much around this club here, coming through the doors and remember those great days in the late 80s, those finals? Is that still talked about? Yeah,
I mean, obviously I'm heavily associated with Mick Harford, who was part of that group, and he mentions it, and I think it's a tradition of the club, but we need to make sure we're competitive on Tuesday night. That's before we start thinking about winning League Cups.
It would be a good way to rebuild confidence, though, wouldn't it, to get some kind of respectable result against a team that's beaten Spurs today, as you say, 2-1.
I'm only interested in reaction, because that's this league. You can feel sorry for yourself, you can react. We have to react. That's an attitude we have to learn now, quickly. So forget what's happened, dust yourself down, get ready to go again. That's where we are.
Do you feel that the things that caused the defeat last week are different to the ones that caused the defeat this week?
Absolutely, yeah. We were in the ascendancy today. We weren't in the ascendancy last week. QPR were in the ascendancy. We changed things tactically to get in the ascendancy. I think we weren't consistent enough with our performance today. That's the truth.
Named an unchanged side from the defeat against QPR. Was there any temptation to change things around a bit, to bring something different into the game today?
No, because you go through a lot last week, and you trod through the video and you work tactically towards things. And how do you ever find out if players are going to learn from their mistakes or not by changing 3 or 4 positions? You don't. So what's the point in that work if you don't give them an opportunity to put it right? And it was a totally different game today, 2 totally different shapes, 3-5-2 QPR and 4-3-3 Hull. So every game is completely different, but obviously I'll assess it and see who's improved and who hasn't and where it went wrong, and that's a normal process. That's my job. That's what you have to do.
And you've used the League Cup games previously to give players that aren't featuring in the league as much an opportunity to be knocking on your door to say, I need to be involved in league action as well now.
Yeah, but I need to look at Leicester now and see where the threats are, and make sure I adjust to that accordingly. So That's where the next 2 days' work is before you can blink. We'll be back out here on Tuesday night and we need to be ready for it.